I know that most people think Mr. Bean is an alien, and that's even been hinted at by the cast and the crew, which probably makes it canon. But of course, this isn't realistic. The more I think about Mr. Bean as if he was a real person, the sadder I get. So here it is, Reddit's reality-based fan theory on Mr. Bean.
Swappin' thoughts.
Rowan Edmund Bean was born in London sometime in the 1950s. His descendants are Blackaders on his mother's side, and the Bean family on his father's side. As the young boy grows, it becomes apparent that he is not a typical child. He is mostly nonverbal, although can speak, especially as he gets older. What other people don't know is that young R.E. Bean is on the autism spectrum. He was sadly never diagnosed, so never receives any support or services that could help him with his social and communicative struggles. His family doesn't understand him. His father is strict and punishes him for not being like the other boys. His mother loves him but does not know why he is the way he is, and is ultimately disappointed with his perceived shortcomings, which aren't really shortcomings, more as a result of his environment and lack of support. Any siblings he may have either tease him or ignore him completely. He is academically bright and especially enjoys maths.
Oh yes. I've concentrated on trigonometry.
In the first episode of the series, he takes a math test paper. As he is clearly in his 40s at that point and not at school, we have to presume that this is what he does in his past time. He manages to barely squeak by school. Even though he is academically normal, the social structure of school makes it hard for him. Once he leaves school, he becomes reclusive, escaping into his favorite books, TV shows, and movies to forget his trauma and stress. His father kicks him out sometime in his early 20s. Mr. Bean struggles to find employment due to his social differences and ends up on benefits. He keeps his only real friend, his childhood Teddy, with him at all times. The small stuffed bear smells of his childhood home and his mother. It is a source of great comfort for him. He lives most of his adult life bumbling about, going about his life and doing what he does. At some point in his early 40s, he meets Irma Gobb, a sweet and nerdy young woman who is also likely on the autism spectrum. They become close friends and later date. Bean now feels warmth and happiness for the first time since his mother used to hold him. His parents pass away sometime in the 90s. His mother writes to him on her deathbed, telling him how much she loves him and that she hopes he can find true happiness. In the mid-90s, Bean gets a job as a guard at the National Gallery in London. During his employment in 1997, he is sent to the US to represent the gallery. In reality, his colleagues just want him gone because they don't want to be anywhere near him. This is where the plot of the 1997 movie Bean now takes place. His relationship with Irma grows distant, and he is once again alone, except for Teddy. His life continues much the same until 2007, when he wins a ticket to Cannes in a raffle. This is where Mr. Bean's holiday comes in. He accidentally kidnaps a child on this trip, although returns the child unharmed and the father chooses not to press charges. He also winds up being an accidental star in director Carson Clay's film Playback Time, after he interferes with the projecting equipment. Due to positive audience reception, Clay passes this off as intentional and Bean becomes a temporary celebrity. He makes a friend on his trip named Sabine, but they never go into a romantic relationship, speaking occasionally over the telephone or in letters. His fame fizzles out as people forget about the film. He goes back to his day-to-day life in London with his beloved Teddy. Mr. Bean would be around 70 today. If he is still alive, then he is likely still in his flat with Teddy. His heart is aching with the pain of his lonely existence, but he still makes every day count. And he never feels truly lonely as long as Teddy's by his side. He can still smell his mother in Teddy's worn fabric. Leave a like and subscribe, and swap your thoughts down below if you enjoy this fan theory. I've swapped my thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.